If you've been listening, you're well aware that I believe for us to be our best selves, we have to be very conscious of our intake and our surroundings, people, places, and things, what we're listening to, seeing, eating, doing, saying. And I feel like all of us have gifts. I think all of us are special, and it's just a matter of tapping into them and having the ability to be strong enough to have that discernment of what to cut out and when and so forth. And I don't think we live in a world that makes that easy, because we tend to fall in all the traps of the reality of life, right? Like, it is messy and it is complicated and it is intertwined. And I was just listening to a reader who was saying something about the divine's trying to clear out people who bring stress in your life, because I forget everything he was saying. It was something like this person was a healer, and it's like they can't do their best work if they're stressed out. And I thought, I can so relate to that. I think everybody in the world can relate to that. We can't be our best selves, whatever it is, if we're stressed out. And I have found that it can be challenging to navigate that, because you might encounter people that you have in your life that are fantastic, but then stuff goes sideways for them, or their partner, or their environment, or whatever the case may be, and they start heading down a different path. And they might have been the person who did bring you peace, and now you need to let them go, because everything they're attached to is chaos. And it's like we encounter that kind of thing all the time, where we have to, again, put ourselves first. What I'm getting at is what they were showing, and I think it coincided with that story I was listening to, was I still can't see what they're showing clearly. I thought it was all related, but it's like this idea of everything I said. Yeah, we do need to put ourselves first, and we need to enjoy our lives and learn how to navigate through things. But maybe it's widen your network or something. It's something along the lines of, they were relating it to me, and how, I keep a small circle, and now no circle. It's just me. So it's like, that's what happens. It's like when your small circle goes sideways, it's just you. And so the ones that once brought you peace no longer do. That can be really challenging. And so even if it's not your chaos, even if it's not your mess to be stressed about, not having a support system in itself can be stressful, right? Just in that fact alone. And so just that lack of support can feel wobbly, can feel unsupported, right? You feel like that lack of network, connection, something holding you down, keeping you steady. And I think it's just the reality of life, They're still trying to show me more. It's like sometimes we're just faced with these decisions, and we have to trust ourselves always, where... Sorry, they're showing me something here. I'm not sure I understand. I think they're showing me Yeah, we have to trust ourselves always. And sometimes we're faced with decisions that, I guess it's like between a rock and a hard place. But you have to, it's almost like play the devil's advocate. I think that's what they're showing. It's this idea of like, yes, that might be stressful. Yes, that might be hard. Yes, that's all these things. But think of what it would be like if you stayed in chaos or stayed with whatever, right? So sometimes you have to pick the lesser of the two evils and then start building back up towards what feels best and restudying yourself and figuring out ways to do that. Not always easy, yet it's always for us. And I mean, I think the thing for me is like always to feel our best so we can be our best. So it's like whatever that is for you, whatever it is you're dealing with or struggling with, or maybe everything has been stripped away. I think a lot of times we misinterpret things as they happen based on our mishinges and our trauma, right? Our wounds, that we'll cling to things or we'll mishinge things, think this means that or this means that, when it rarely ever does. And the universe is in perfect harmony, so whatever you put out, you do get back. So if it's like sometimes it goes about it in what would seem like a wonky way or a mysterious way, where you're putting out all this good and you're coming from your heart space, and then the next thing you know, you're in an entirely different world. And from to get to one world to the next world, it felt like torture or felt challenging. And you're like, I don't understand when I've put out good. And it's like, well, because you were still steeped in things that were, quote, bad, right? Like that weren't right for you or weren't on the right vibrational match or frequency. And so you weren't being punished, you were being pivoted. And all of that takes time. And so when you're so stuck in the 3D, it can seem longer or harsher. And when you can relax into it and allow and trust that the universe is always working for us and is always in perfect harmony and balance. So again, it boils back to the same thing always, as long as you're loving and honoring yourself so that you can put out that love and honor into the world, that's what you're going to get back, even when it appears like bumpy or challenging or hard. Not that I don't think we need to take a look and question these things, because there's times where we might be oblivious to the mirror, and the longer we're oblivious, it could be hurting us. But if you are conscious and intentional and coming from your heart and putting forth the right effort, you do sometimes have to just trust the process, even when you don't understand. And I would say the majority of the time, we're not going to understand some things because we're not meant to, and we don't need to. What we need to do is to continue focusing on opening up our heart, or continuing to keep it open, or coming from our heart, or however you want to say it. But it's coming from your highest and best, right? What's truly aligned and honoring you, and in turn, it naturally honors others, right? It's like you don't have to think about it. When you're loving yourself and staying aligned and true to you, it's just a result. But I do think in this world and in this time and age, maybe it's for me, maybe it's for my age. I was just thinking you really do have to be more intentional, more conscious, more aware, more awake in that, I guess I was innocent or naive or sheltered in that I didn't think people behaved certain ways because I wasn't exposed to it, or at least I didn't want to see it that way, or whatever the case is. It's like you have to, there's like a nuance to all these things, right? It's like, are you being nice to be the good guy, but you're placing yourself in danger, right? Or is it just naturally you're kind because you're not expecting anything? And I think it's important that we understand those dynamics for ourselves, and in this, because people are always looking to get from you. So if you're used to always just saying yes, but you're not aware and you're not present, you can get roped into things that you do not want to get roped into. But I say my age because I think we are evolving. Most of us, half of us, some of us, I don't know. And so I do think younger generations, they do get better, they do get quicker, they do get savvier. Doesn't mean they don't have their own set of struggles, right? Because that's what it is. Like, so we look at it and think, oh my God, I could never, because it's so much quicker, faster, whatever. But what we struggle with, it's second nature to them, so it's silly, they're fine. But they do have their set of struggles, which they might not even necessarily recognize yet, right? Because it's new, all that new, same patterns, same basic underlying principles, but there's always a new devil, new manipulator, new angle, new, it's like every time one goes left, one also goes right. And that's the way it works. It keeps everything in perfect balance. I was listening to a little clip regarding two very big people who have made quite an impact in the world, who had gone to the same lecture, listened to the same guy, and it was, I don't know if he was a philosopher or psychologist or what he was, but it was about humans and human behavior. And they took that information and really ran with it. And some would argue in a very negative way, and others would argue in a really beneficial way. No matter, there's always going to be people who have all types of opinions. Nonetheless, if you just look at it from a human standpoint, they took the information in order to grow their businesses by manipulating, utilizing how humans behave and react and respond, which is smart. It's smart marketing. It's smart advertising. It's smart catches, gets, hooks, because that's how this world works. And so this is why it's so important that you're able to think for yourself and love and honor yourself. Because left, right, and center, any which way you turn, somebody is looking to get you, to rope you in, to get your attention, to get your time, to get your money, to get your energy, to get your focus. Your focus is everything. If they can get your attention and your mind, your brain power to go towards what they are manifesting, the more they can get to do that, the more whatever they're interested in manifesting will manifest. So we've talked about this many a times, but it's true, and it's whether you like it or not, whether you're bitching about it or hyping it up. Isn't there an old saying? All advertising is good advertising, or all attention is. It's something about that in the entertainment industry. They used to have a saying where any attention is good attention, or any advertising, something. It's understanding that concept. It doesn't matter whether you're giving them good attention, bad attention, good publicity. Maybe that's what it was. Whatever it is, any focus on them is helping them manifest whatever they want, because it's giving them that power. And so if you'd like to do that, then keep doing that. If you are unaware of that, this is why it is so important. This is why you tell everybody, or you hear everybody telling everybody to pay attention to your thoughts and what you're focusing on, not realizing how true and how powerful that really is. So even those who go up and they picket and they fuss and they scream and holler against something, no problem. They're still going to get it, right? Like they're going to get whatever the topic is, and whoever's pulling those strings, which people never are aware of that, is really excited that their string pulling is working well. They're magnetizing so many into that issue. Or problem or solution. It just depends on what team you're on or how you're seeing it. And again, the universe doesn't care. The universe is unconditional. The universe does not follow human moral conduct. So it just follows the brightest, right? The most attention, the most volume, the loudest. And one person can be very loud with truth and intention. So if you're able to fill up your entire vessel and focus strongly on something, You're more powerful than the majority of people out there who are scattered all over this place. They're scattered all over the world. They often show it like that. They show it like the Big Bang. It's like you're initially one, whole and powerful and united. And then eventually throughout time, age, reality, it's like you burst into billions all over the place because you're scattered. Your thoughts are everywhere. Your attention is everywhere. You're doing so many things. And so no one thing is always going beautifully because you're not putting all your time, energy, and focus into it. And your heart, right? Like to me, that's really important. I have found understanding that is really important. I know we talk about that a lot, and people could debate that because it just takes the attention and focus. Like we said, it doesn't matter if it's good, better, and different. But what I mean by that is when you don't recognize it from your heart, it's likely not truly serving you. So for instance, you could say good or bad, light or dark, meaning if you're angry and seething and resentful, and say you focus all that, channel that energy towards an outcome, or worse, a person, the universe doesn't care. It's going to give more energy to that person. So you're tossing away your energy. But because you're putting out bad, you're wasting your wishes. So you're giving away your energy and your power, and you're putting out ill. And so then when power comes back to you, it will be ill power. Do you see how that works? Where it's like you're not necessarily hurting that other person if their focus is pure and clean, because they can transmute any power, and you're just tossing them power into love and light. But you, on the other hand, are manifesting, focusing, putting energy towards negative and putting that ill intention out into the world. And so that will come back and smack you. And then you'll feel like that's really not fair, because it's like the double whammy, but you're doing it. You're in charge of that. And so this is why I say it's important that you clean up internally first, and that your intentions matter for your sake. Right? So it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, you get swept up into fighting against some cause, and you have all that anger and resentment and certainty and assurance that you're right and this is wrong, and you're going to go, well, you're going out there with anger. You're angry that this is happening. You're giving away your power to something else, saying they shouldn't be able to do this. But you're giving them that power and that energy. What do you want? What would feel better? You need to go fight for that in your mind and your focus, and in a positive way to channel that in the best possible way for you. It's like advocate for yourself, but you have to do it with the intention of pure love and light for it to really blossom and bloom for you and for what you want. Because then it's coming from your highest and best. It's not coming from ill will. It's not coming from lower energies. It's not coming to get from outside yourself. It's like none of that is occurring when you're clean and clear and pure and coming from your highest and best. So when it comes in, it's going to be that same energy. So it's basically easier. It's like miracles falling in your lap versus having to transmute it or struggle or fuss or fight or challenges or hurdles or, not understanding and then getting tripped up in then getting angry because it's like bad things are happening. So then more bad things happen because you keep focusing on the bad things. And it's like we trip ourselves up and go in those cycles. And so to get out of that cycle, if you understand this process, it makes it much easier. It's just like, oh, okay, so whenever you're angry or resentful or upset or worried, have at it. Take that time to sit and like look at it and realize it and understand it and release it, correct it, feel it, transmute it, understand it, whatever it is you need to do to then release it so you can float back up to bliss and move about your life and to move about your day. But a lot of times people have that knee-jerk reaction. They sit and stew in that lower energy, and then they wish things. They focus on things that's wishing, and wasting, giving away that power, that energy. It's such a sick way to say it, but it is true. Like sometimes it's like, things will happen that are supposed to fuel you. So it's like those bad things are your fuel to transmute it into something beautiful. It's that idea of like pain into power. Okay, I'm going into bAbBLE. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.